Well, welcome to Valley Hoops Insider, the podcast version of the website, valleyhoopsinsider.com. Harry Schroeder with you, editor of the site and host of this particular podcast. And joining us there, Connor Hickman, a guard with the Bradley Braves. And Connor, first, thanks just for joining us today. Where do we find you this afternoon? What have you been up to so far today?
We had film and walkthrough today, and then a little bit of a recovery lift, and I got some treatment as well. So just here now before my class.
Still dealing a little bit with ankles. Yes, you've been having some ankle sprains.
Yeah, I would call myself a prolific ankle roller.
Congratulations. You know what? I've had people talk to me. They said, basketball players seem to twist their ankles a lot. And I said, if you don't have bad ankles, you didn't really play basketball.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to have bad ankles if you played. First question for you, though. Bloomington South, how did you end up at Bradley? It seems to me that Bloomington maybe would be an Illinois State place.
Yeah, I just had Bradley had some Bloomington ties with Coach Drew Adams. He knew my trainer. I played AAU for his dad. He went to the same high school as me. He went to Bloomington South as well. So a lot of Bloomington ties, and just kind of got connected through that, and I felt really comfortable here.
So you're, according to the website, it could be incorrect, of course, but according to the Bradley website, you're working on a degree in management/leadership. Where does that take you long term, do you believe?
Can't say I really know. Just wanted to do something in the business world, and that seemed pretty interesting. So I'm kind of sticking with it right now.
Good deal. Good deal. You are the minutes leader on the Bradley squad. You're out there most of all. As just a sophomore, that's a pretty heady spot. Just talk about your ability to stay on the floor, even despite rolling those ankles.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got to understand it's not necessarily your scoring ability that can keep you on the floor, but it's your ability to do the little things. Boxing out, challenging shots, crashing the glass, playing defense. I mean, if you can play defense, you can stay on the floor. So I really try to do all those little things so I can stay on the floor and help my team.
I've been trying to get you on the podcast for a while because I've seen you guys a number of times. I was at your game at Missouri State, I was at your game at Southern Illinois Edwardsville.
Yeah.
I like your game, your overall game. I said to somebody the other day, I said, he's a basketball player. What I mean by that is that you do all that stuff you're talking about, a lot of different things. How does that mindset end up? How did you end up with that mindset?
I like to win. I think I'm a pretty competitive person. So if you have winning on your mind going into a game, all those little things just kind of come naturally. If you're not worried about, how am I going to hit this shot? I got to score this many points. If you're just like, hey, I just want to win, all those little things just kind of happen. You just do them.
When I earlier in the year, I was looking at roster things and noticed your brother was a football player at Indiana State at one point. Were you a football guy, and is a football toughness mentality also a part of all that?
I played football for a few years. It wasn't really my thing, though. I was pretty skinny and lanky growing up, and then now I've kind of filled out. But I mean, my two older brothers really instilled that toughness in me. Being the youngest, I'd get picked on a lot, all that. So, yeah, they definitely instilled that toughness in me and brought me that mindset.
I was driving home. I wasn't driving. My wife was driving, but I was driving home yesterday, long trip, and I was watching your game with Southern Illinois. And
Yeah.
listen, it wasn't exactly the NBA All-Star game in terms of offensive performance.
Yeah.
But it was such a gritty game, and
Yeah.
you guys were just marginally ahead the whole game. Then Southern goes on a little bit of a run, and they take the lead. Then Henry gets a big bucket. You make a backdoor cut. You make a big layup. And all of a sudden, you guys are back in control. Talk about the toughness, the mindset of making winning plays in difficult times.
I think that's kind of what has to happen coming into February and March. The top of the league is not necessarily evenly matched, but any game can really be up for grabs. And Southern likes to play that slow, grind out game. They're going to make it ugly. I think we're both top two or more in the defense in the league. So we kind of knew it was going to be that game. And, your big time players got to make big time plays is what coach always says. And that's what happened with Jashawn stepping up when we needed him, and then Rink hitting that big shot at the end.
That three with somebody on him. That was an amazing little play, scenario. I wanted to ask you about Jashawn. I've said for 4 years that he's my favorite player in the league. I've loved watching him play all 4 years. Talk to me about him, his game, his leadership. Just talk about Jashawn Henry.
He's a very calming presence on the floor. You know what you're getting out of Hen. He's very straight, calm, and collected. And then I think he's one of the only players in the league who can just punk anybody. You might block a shot, but he's getting a rebound and he's going up and dunking it, or he's getting 3 ORs in a row. Or I don't think I've ever seen anybody be able to back him down in the post either. So it just brings that, like, this is what I'm gonna do, and you're not gonna stop me from doing it mentality.
What do you learn, or what have you learned from a guy like him and Ville, who have been there, they've done it, they've got a toughness
Mhm.
about them, a winning pedigree? What do you learn from those older guys on the Bradley roster?
I think mainly making toughness plays and then really, showing up when it matters. I think that's what those two have done. I know Ville didn't score a lot last game, but in watching the film, he made a lot of big plays when they mattered, and same with Hen. So I think just, you know, being calm and collected and then showing up for your team when it matters.
You're a outstanding 3-point shooter. Your percentages are great. You're maybe sixth or seventh, maybe even eighth in scoring, but it's all that
Mhm,
other stuff. And I know that Coach Wardle talks about every player being an all conference guy at his role,
mhm.
and so you guys go deep. You bring a lot to the table, but talk about that overall team mentality that you guys have about each guy contributing.
It's pretty dangerous when you have 6 or 7 guys who can just take over a game. I think a lot of winning teams have those guys who are all around double digits. So, it's pretty dangerous when you have a lot of people you can go to when you need a score or something like that. So, I think it is a very much a team mindset. It's like, hey, if this guy's hot, let's get him the ball. It's not as much as like, hey, I got to get mine. It's like, who's hot? What's working? How can we score? Like, stuff like that.
When when I think about Brian Wardle, I think about toughness, think about
Mhm.
defense, think about all those kinds of things. Just
Yeah.
talk about give us some of the positives, the things you take away from playing for Coach Wardle. What makes him successful? What makes him tick?
I think what makes him so successful is I've never met somebody who wants to win as much as he does, but win in a like a good fashion. Like, it's just, I think, and it trickles down on all of us just how badly he wants to win, and it makes us believe too. I think that's the biggest thing with him is he wants to win very badly, but he also believes we can win, and he believes in all of us. So it's just the belief has been growing, and the wins have been growing as well. So that's why.
When he wears the red shoes, is that a special event?
I haven't seen him wear the red shoes that much this year. I think he's waiting to break them out.
Yeah. Well, you were on the all freshman team last year, and now in year two, you're practically a grizzled veteran. What's it like though? Year two compared to year one. What do you think you've learned, or how have you grown, or just compare year one to year two?
I think this year I've really learned how much consistency matters. Showing up every day, practice, and everything matters. The film, the extra shots, the lifting, and the practices is that you got to show up every day for all of them, and not take a day off, because consistency builds up. You got to stack the days, you got to stack the practices. So when it comes to this time, you're weathering the storm, you're weathering the other team's runs, the hostile environments, and you're prepared for it. I think
The,
I've learned that from last year, where last year I think I was pretty inconsistent. And I know this year I haven't been consistent in my scoring, but I think I've been consistent showing up every day and doing all those little things, where last year I was lacking that a little bit.
you talk about hostile environments.
Mhm.
Yesterday, like I said, there wasn't a ton of scoring, but
Mhm.
that was a grind out fight
Mhm.
for 40 minutes game
Yeah.
with a gigantic crowd. I mean, that's what you want, right? When you go
Yeah.
to play college
Yeah, of
basketball.
course. That's what you dream about, is playing in a gym like that with, I don't know how many people they had, maybe 7, 8,000 in a close game. Yeah. It was fantastic.
Thinking forward, now you have two more games left, of course, and
Mhm.
if you guys take care of business midweek, then potentially you're playing for the title
Mhm.
against Drake at home on Sunday. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't get out in front of yourself. You can't think past
Mhm.
your midweek game. But
Yeah.
what will be like to be at Carver Arena playing for the title?
Oh, it's gonna be a game. I mean, probably one of the best ones of the year. But we know we can't overlook Valpo. They probably have lost a good amount of games they shouldn't have lost. They've been in overtimes and close games, and they play well at home. So they're a dangerous team. So we got to just stay focused on the present, not look too much to the future.
However, that could be an awesome opportunity and an
Hmm.
awesome environment.
Definitely.
Last year at your first experience at Arch Madness, give us a little bit of what that St. Louis tournament is like.
Um, it was definitely it was new, but it wasn't. I mean, playing in tournament games, I did that throughout high school, but definitely on that stage and to the level it was, that was pretty new. So, I mean, it was fun. I mean, I'm excited for it this year. I feel like there's gonna be a lot more fans this year for all the games.
Well, I
Just
think there will be more fans, more Bradley fans for
yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
as well.
Hmm.
Talk to me, take me through a couple of your guys. Like I think I watched, like I said, I've seen you guys a ton. So Leon's is just a freak of nature. I mean, he's
Yep.
just everywhere, blocking shots,
Hmm.
stealing balls, all of that. Mast is just a mountain in the middle. I mean, just talk about some of your teammates and what they bring to the table.
Yeah, I'll start with Malavai. I think he's one of the best at affecting the game in so many different ways, even if he isn't scoring the ball. I mean, I think last night he had 7 rebounds, three three blocks, and 4 steals or something. But he didn't score a lot. But he makes those winning plays, those plays that somebody like I can't, 6'2", don't have that ability. He does, but he really uses his body well, and he does it to a great level. And then Rink Mast, I think, yeah, I think mountain in the middle is a great way to describe Rink. It's get Rink the ball and let him make a decision because it's usually the right one. And he's he's hard to stop. He's hard to stop. So he's our mountain in the middle. And then Darius, I think Darius can come in and just change the whole flow of the game.
Mm.
Come in, block a shot off the backboard, and then go down and get a dunk. I mean, I think he's one of the biggest momentum changers in the league as well. And then I'll go with Zeke. You let Zeke go, and it's a problem. He's a microwave, that's for sure. And then I'll go to Duke. He's one of I would say he's the leader on our team as far as being so vocal. He positive, just vocal, always talking, always in guys' ears. I think you just always rely on him to be that presence for us, and it's great. And then Billy and Deshaun are veteran leaders. They step up when it matters. And then we got guys like Gonar, Christian, and Pop, who they could be playing right now. We're rolling with 8 guys, but they could easily step in and contribute. I mean, they're dangerous in practice too. They give us great looks. They're to watch. I'm sure down the stretch they'll give us some good minutes and help us win some games. And then you go to Meta, new, still getting acclimated, but he's got a lot of potential. And then Sam and Cade, just the heart of our team. The heart of our team, just competitive in practice, talking trash, going hard, and then the biggest supporters we have. And then you have guys that nobody really knows on, like Suleiman Egiste, our freshman walk on, he's just a great guy, still learning the game, but doing his best. So I think it's a really connected group, and I can't say enough good things about these guys.
I want to go back to yesterday's game for just a minute. And I know that Rink can hit a three. He hits them,
Mhm.
relatively often,
Yeah.
but way out on the wing, right in front of your bench, a man in
Mhm.
his face. That's like legendary kinds of
Yeah,
things in a
that's
game
what
like that. Just talk about his mentality, what he brings from the mental side of the things.
yeah, it's just he had that tough game against Illinois State where he missed those free throws at the end. I think he had a very bad free throw shooting night. So I think it was just something like that. Like, I got to step up this time, and they drew up this play and they changed it a little bit. So Jashawn would be handing it off instead of Rink, so Rink could pop and get the shot, and I was going to pass it to Rink, and I was giving Rink the ball no matter what. Letting like he's our guy, so let him make this shot, let him drives, whatever. And he stepped in confidently and sank it.
It was amazing to me. I mean, he was way out there. Like I've seen him
Mhm.
take a lot of threes, but typically at the top of the key.
Right,
That one was
usually,
way
yeah.
off to the left. That
Mhm.
was Steph Curry
And he got
range right
fouled.
there.
And
Yeah,
he got
and he
fouled.
got fouled and
Yeah,
then made the free throw.
right.
And you talk about staying in the game even when you're not scoring. He hadn't scored much up into that point. I think he
Mhm,
had
yeah, I think he
6 or
had
7 points at that time.
and then he had, I think, a layup and maybe a jump hook and then that 4-point play, so down the stretch.
Pretty amazing. 11
Mhm,
double-digit games for you
mhm,
and this season and averaging over 8 a game, and you're right there, but in rebounds and assists, I mean, you're just that guy that's contributing in lots of different ways.
mhm,
But recently, coaches put the ball in your hands a little bit more at the playing the point a little
mhm.
bit more than earlier.
Yeah.
What does that do for your team? Just how does that make the adjustments, or what adjustments does that bring
Mhm.
to your team?
Well, I grew up playing the point position, and then in high school I didn't play it at all. So I mean, I had that ability, but I was just pretty uncomfortable in the beginning of the year, and just kind of uncomfortable in the way I was playing, and then my mindset. But I think it's gotten better throughout the year, and I think it really helps us because then I can guard the point guard position as well, and kind of contain those quicker, taller guards. So it just kind of brings a different look for teams and lets Duke take a break.
Yeah, I was talking to Brian Wardle about you earlier, and he just bragged about your on-ball defense ability to guard
Mhm.
the ball. Um, Defense is for sure technique and fundamentals and all that, but it's a whole lot just about effort, isn't it?
Effort. It's all effort. It's if I let my man go by me, there might be a score or a drop off and somebody else is scoring. Like it's really just, to me, defense is effort and being unselfish to your team. So it's just giving effort every play.
So who's the toughest guard? Like who's your toughest person to guard that you've faced this year?
Two guard to face this year.
To face when you're on the defensive side, yeah.
Yeah. I would say Lance Jones is pretty tough to guard. He's definitely quick, and if he gets a step on you, it can be tough to catch up. I would probably say him, Lance Jones. He's pretty
He
quick.
and he is a bull, isn't he? I mean, like if he
Mhm.
gets that half step, he's going to
Yeah,
run right
yeah,
through you too.
yep.
The as you think about this season and the success that you guys have achieved so far, what are you most like proud of, satisfied with?
Hmm. I mean, there's a lot to be, not satisfied, but I would definitely say, like, proud. I would say how we just kinda grown throughout the year. We've been in some road we had that tough road game stint where a lot of people were saying we can't win road games, but we can only win at home, and I would say I'm most proud of the road wins, like, that whole narrative that we couldn't win on the road, we could only win at home, we had to play at Carver in order to win. I mean, I think we've kind of flipped that script and kinda shown everybody we can win in hostile places.
So, game on the line yesterday. You went to rink. Game
Mhm.
on the line. Where is Connor Hickman taking that shot? They put the ball in his hands. Go make it. What's that sweet spot on the floor that you most like?
The sweet spot. I would probably say the left wing where Rink shot that. I like that area a lot, or the right corner.
I was gonna say you made a left wing triple yesterday early in the
Mhm,
game.
mhm.
That's why I was asking. I thought he looked so
Yeah,
confident there, but
yeah,
I've seen you hit him from all around the arc. You like the
mhm,
three ball.
yeah,
And before I let you go, I've been saying all year long, you guys have the best big court in the conference, and
mhm,
I don't think there's any question about that.
yeah,
But when you have those three guys that are 6'9", and then you throw Jashawn in there.
mhm.
I just think you have such a distinct advantage over every team in the league in the front court. That's a strength that I don't know how anybody else matches up with you guys.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's emphasized before the game. The post touches, get the ball into our bigs, good things happen, and it does. I mean, and they're big guys, they're talented, but they're also aggressive. Like, they have good mindsets, they're tough. So it's a good combination. It's tough to stop.
Well, and then you guys are deep in the backcourt. I mean, Duke and Zeke and yourself can all run the point, can
Mhm.
all knock down the shots and all that. You have some other guys, relay and others that can come off the bench as well. But you could go small if you want and really
Mhm.
dominate people. And obviously, you can go big. You guys have, I think, a huge advantage in terms of what you have the ability to do,
Yeah.
whereas some of the other Valley teams, they have to play a certain way.
Yeah, just kinda adapting to who you're playing. Like, if, like Southern, that was a slow game, so we went pretty big, kinda protect the paint, rebounds, defense, and then if you play a quicker, faster paced team, we can go small as well and get up the floor as well. So it's just kinda being able to compete in many different ways with many different lineups.
Different programs are different.
Mhm.
Do you have a roommate that's on the team? Is
Yeah,
your
Zeke.
roommate one of the basketball players?
Yeah, Zeke.
So tell me about what your home life is with Zeke. Give us a little bit of insight into
Oh, man. It's,
the Zeke Connor homestead.
it's It's interesting, man. He's a funny dude. I love living with him. He's grown to be one of my best friends. It's just a good time. Love being in my apartment with him. It's just comfortable. He's a goofy dude. A lot of interesting things happen with Zico.
And it's a off night. You don't have a game. You don't have practice. What are Connor and Zeke doing? How do you guys pass the time?
Oh, we're playing video games, playing video games together usually.
What's the game of choice?
Usually Call of Duty or Fortnite, something like that.
All right, just checking in, seeing
Yeah.
what the game's going, and who's better.
Oh, I am for sure.
I kind of thought you would say that, but I just was waiting to see. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, we wish you the best. You know, in recent days, some of the national websites have started to say, Bradley, they could be maybe an at-large team if they don't win
Mhm.
Arch Madness. I mean, people are starting to notice the Bradley Braves, and you
Yeah.
obviously you guys are on a winning streak, and your net ranking is good. Um, do you guys pay attention to any of that? You get on ESPN and pay attention to what people are saying about the Braves.
I think it's hard not to with how social media is these days, and it's nice to get some recognition. But I think we're very, collective, like within our team. Just everything we need is in this room, kind of idea, and it's just kind of staying the course and taking it day by day.
That's Connor Hickman.
Mhm.
He is the sophomore guard at Bradley. They are tied for first place with just 2 games left in the
Mhm.
regular season. Connor, really appreciate your time today.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it a lot. Listen, remember, since you've been there, make it a better place. We'll see you again real soon.